Hello, in the past video I mentioned that I'm very bad at sniping and that I would actively practice doing so in my streams. All the shots you'll be seeing are my recording of the past week or so, and the more I practice, the more I realize how much luck is actually involved. A person can be very good at firing a hit-scan weapon, but when it comes to projectiles, there are more things to consider. For example, you need to be good at judging the distance and understanding how fast the bullet is traveling. This will help you figure out when it will reach the target. During that traveling time, we could only make predictions of where the target may be. Because it's a prediction, it is never certain. We are not seeing the future, only what it could be. This means even pros has to take the chance for every snipe they do at a distance, unless they are standing still. So just do it anyways and learn from every snipe even if it misses. Now before we get into the whole montage of me sniping, there's a few stuff that I like to share which are very useful and I did not see anyone talking about it even on YouTube. The first thing is about the new heavy sniper, which unlike the other sniper has less fall off, which is almost 2/3 of the other sniper rifle. So you really need to get a separate feel to that weapon. Another thing to note is that all snipers with scopes are the same size and zoom power, which then means that you need to get a separate feel with the hunting rifle that does not have a scope. The third thing about the snipers is that all sniper has a 2.5 headshot multiplier, which means that besides the semi-auto sniper that has a low base damage, every other sniper could one-hit an enemy to do more than 200 damage on a headshot. Also, all sniper does a base damage to the environmental structures except for the heavy sniper that does 1050 damage, enough to break a fully built metal wall that only has 500 health. The next thing I'd like to talk about is that even though I had my view distance set at the highest setting, my game seems to stop rendering new objects including enemy ramps after about 340 to 350 meters away. The way I test this is by asking my friend Nader to stand where the ramps stop rendering and let me snipe him to record the distance of that kill. After that, I try sniping him from many different distances to check if the projectile distance has a limit. We did section by section, but the furthest we could get was about 1099 meters. This is a snipe from Viking Hill all the way to Dusty Depot, which is slightly more than half the cross section of the map. Any further seems really hard or maybe even impossible. Now hear me out. If Fortnite developers were to try to make the sniping aspect of the game more realistic, some basic physics and math should apply to the projectile, which gives us that bullet falloff. This means that depending on how fast the bullet was traveling upon fire, it will only go further up to a certain angle, and any more will actually cause the bullet to fall even closer. So the bullet may not have a traveling limit until it hits something, but it definitely has a horizontal limit. At this point I was wondering what is the world record for Fortnite snipe distance ever recorded, and D then messaged me on Discord later saying that it is 4,124 meters. I couldn't help but have a weird look on my face considering that we just established that half the cross section of the whole map is only about 1000 meters. I saw another YouTube video on how large the map was, and based on his calculation is around 1700 meters in diameter. So I guess now you have to be the judge in deciding if that 4K value is even valid or if it's just a glitch. Okay, time to show off the fruits of my editing skills and luck. I have a theory about how we can learn and become better snipers. Yes, we can play a lot and get used to it ourselves, but if you do not have a lot of time to play, I believe that we can also get better by watching other people play and how they would land their shots. So watch these clips closely and picture yourself pulling the trigger. At the start of practice, I'm still getting used to how high I need to aim, and I often get body shots even when the enemy is staying still. As time passes, I got better at judging the distance based on the size of the enemy and the objects around, and I could start hitting headshots more frequently when they are not moving. But in my opinion, the hardest part to master is picking where to gamble your shots on a moving target or even a peeking target, because some pros can peek so fast you couldn't even react to it even if you want to. That's when the prediction and gambling begin. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to promote gambling, but if you have nothing to lose, why not? Knock one. And we're done. If everything else fails, I guess you can still kind of blame it on the lag. Check this out. The last thing that I'd like to say before ending this video is that I seriously think trick shots are kinda overrated. Considering how huge the bloom is, there's less skill and more luck in my opinion. So probably a better idea to polish up on things that you could improve on than to no-scope someone at 200 meters while jumping off a cliff. It's definitely fun to look at but not very beneficial unless maybe you are making a YouTube video. If you enjoyed this video and like to see a part 2 for more sniping tips, remember to like the video, subscribe, and comment part 2 down below. Once again, this is Zelf. Have a pleasant day. Bye bye.